Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's take a by the numbers look at Dom Mysterio, King of the Luchadors. Dom is the chase card, the S tier chase card for November 2025, and he's also one of the cards that serves as a base for the Tekken crossover event. In order to use Jin Kazama, you need to have Dom Mysterio on your account, and then the Jin Kazama gear. This video is going to be highlighting two different movesets. In this situation, one is Jin, one is Dom. And I want to talk about all the game mechanics that go into the damage output of these particular movesets. I'm going to look at one move damage moveset with Dom, and then we're going to look at a gym damage moveset with Jin Kazama that is a little bit more complicated. We're going to sit and we're going to kind of break all of it down. I'll show you all the math behind it and how it all adds together in order to get to the intended result. Disclaimer at the very beginning here, all of this math that I've done is assuming a perfect move cycle with very little RNG and very little cascades. We all know that that doesn't happen often in the game. But I'm just going to push on forward, assuming that anyway, because I think it's important to also see how the randomness and the variations that happen in the game can also affect a card's overall effectiveness in moveset in game. All right, so the first one we're going to look at with Dom here is his triple red moveset, and everything runs through the single leg Boston Crab. It is a color submission. Choose 10 gems to make into yellow sub gems and do 1.65 million damage for 2 turns while submission gems are on the board. Remaining submission gems turn into 1-turn countdown gems that will deal 100,000 damage and increase your red move damage by 40% for 2 turns. At maximum, you will get 400% red move damage up from the countdown gems, plus about 1 million damage from the countdown gems going off. This is where all of the damage is coming from, specifically the countdown gems. Next turn, we're going to use the 619, deal 300,000 damage and increase your gem dodge chance by 100% on gem swipes for 2 turns. Then deal 300,000 damage and increase your yellow MP by 10. Neither one of these effects really matter to this moveset. I just wanted the raw damage. And then the Hilo, deal 1.5 million damage and swap a 6x6 random area into red gems. This is going to be our primary damage driver. So this is what everything flows through. This is what we're all building towards. The entourage I selected for this kind of reflects that. So we need 4 MP to get started, because with 1 for being ourselves, we'll have 5. And then the next turn we'll have 6 and 6, and the Hilo will reload everything in case we need to go to cycle 2. So all we need is 1 red MP trainer. So we're going to use Stinger for that. From there, I'm going to load up on move damage. Rowdy Piper. Showboat, any color moves that deal damage deal 100% more damage. Then I'm going to use Trick Chelsea. Red moves that deal damage deal 30% more damage. And then I'm going to use Tech Carry and Cross. Red moves that deal damage will deal 30% more damage for a total of 160% red move damage. If you don't have any of these entourage, that's fine. Do the best you can. If you can't run red move damage, run red sub damage, run extra red subs turns, because the sub is pretty powerful, or run just red gem damage. Okay, but these are all relatively obtainable cards, nothing that is super scarce. As far as the belt, we're going to use 100% move damage plus 2 sets of takedowns, or takedown 2s for an extra 80% there. We do have the 200% red move damage medal on, and we can see here that we get a flat buff of 924 damage to our red moves. The moment doesn't help us very much at all. The red gems will get a little bit of a tick up in damage by 50% there, and the color submission moves do 200% more damage per turn. Certainly helps. The gear that Dom has does not affect move damage whatsoever. So we'll talk about that later. All right. Over here in the damage calculator, I have accounted for his red move defense, which is 18% here and 200% flat. So there is this amount of deep damage that is being soaked up by the opponent. It is reflected in the total numbers here. Provided that we have a perfect move flow, our Hilo should do 46.6 million damage. And I'll break that down here in a little bit after the sub. And I pressed the wrong button. Need to press that. And let's press that. There we go. So the idea here, and we need a little bit of board luck, is we want to put all 10 of the sub gems in a spot where they will not be broken by the opponent. This is actually pretty nice. I'm just going to put them on top of the yellow gems here and then find some that are pretty far away and in weird spots. This should be fine. Let's see how many of them survive. There's one gone, two gone. So we have 8 total countdown gems that went off, meaning our activated move buff is actually going to be 320. So up here, the base gem or base move damage for the Hilo was 1.5 million. Strap's going to add another 1.5 million. The takedown 2s are going to add 1.2 million. The red move damage metal is going to add 3 million, and the trainers are going to add 2.4 million, getting us to 9.3 million before the activated buff. Since we know we're getting 320%, it's going to actually change over to the 39.1 million, and you can see that right here. In my little infographic in the bottom left-hand corner, I've got the Hilo doing 46.6 and the 619 doing 18.6. That's assuming all 10 countdown gems survived. They didn't, so back up the total damage instead of 79.5 is probably going to be closer to 70 or 71. Anyway, rest of the move flow, we're going to hit the 619 just for the raw damage itself. That should do about 15 million right there. And then we're going to hit the Hilo, which is going to do 39.1, and then it's going to throw out the 36 red gems. When they're broken, they should do 3.265 million, not accounting for cascades. And there we go. More than enough damage to take down Big Papa Pump, turn 1. Not too much in the way of reversals that you have to worry about other than subs. The sub reversal is going to be very real for this moveset. The MP up reversal, I do not think triggers because it adds yellow MP and we don't have a yellow move, so there's nothing to fill, so there's nothing to reverse. Let's switch over to Jin Kazama and go over to the move damage setup. We'll put the gear on because it looks cool. You can see that the gear adds 380% to trap gems. And that's just the base gem damage that the trap is sitting on. It's not the damage that the trap gem actually does. Over here with the moment, we are going to be taking advantage of the gems do 50% more damage. And we're going to change our belt. Our belt will turn into gem damage 100% with Fury 2s, adding an extra 80%. And we are using a rainbow gem damage metal, adding 35% right here. So 100 to Fury 2s, 35%. I have 2 plates equipped. One is it's a trap. Whenever you make 8 or more trap gems, make 8 random gems into multiplied gems of strength 8. Okay. So what this really means is we're adding 8 multiplies of 8 or 56 extra gems broken if you break all 8 of those multi-gems. That 56 number is important. It will come back in the future. But that's really what multiplied gems are just adding more instances of gems to be broken, which is why they're so powerful. And then for fun, I put on one of the Tekken plates. It is the Black Wings of Ruin. It is built specifically for Jin Kazama. Whenever you break 20 or more trap gems, generate 49 yellow gems at the end of your turn. So there's another 49 yellow gems that we are going to be breaking. I'm highlighting that for a reason. Hang tight. Now, I can hear you asking, hey Slim, couldn't you just use a yellow Royal Rumble plate? Yes, you can. But it's the Tekken event. I figured I'd show off the Tekken plate on the Tekken character. Okay. Moveset's going to change around a little bit. We're going to add in 2 of his yellow moves. But I'm going to keep the 619 because the 619 is a very elegant way of getting around needing yellow and red MP. You could use the corner whip clothesline, deal 600,000 damage and choose 9 gems to make into yellow gems. This has a hardcore component that has some serious striker hate built into it. If the opponent's class is striker, deal 1 million damage and increase your yellow gem damage by 400% for 1 turn. That is a huge amount. We are not going to be using this move. I just wanted to show off that it exists. So we're keeping the 619 specifically for the increase your yellow MP by 10. That now adds a reversal element to the move set with MP up reversals. And then we're also going to have to deal with trap reversals. So little reversal heavy move set, but it's pretty fun. The 3 amigos is where all of our damage is basically going to come from. Deal 700,000 damage, make the bottom 3 rows into trap gems, so 21 trap gems are going to get tossed out. If broken by your opponent, deal 100,000 damage per trap gem, and deal 5 million bleed damage to your opponent for 2 turns. So that'll stack up quick. That's 5 million damage per trap gem. If for some reason they break all 21 trap gems, that is a 100 million in bleed, I think. I mean, it's a lot. Real fast. It's very interesting, but not what we're going for with this moveset. If broken by you, deal 1.7 million damage and increase your yellow gem damage by 11% for 1 turn. Since we're breaking 21 of them, we're going to break all of them. That is a 231% increase to your yellow gem damage. The frog splash is what sets everything off. Choose a 7x3 area to swap into purple gems, so that's going to be all the traps. And then finisher, deal 2 million damage and swap a 7x4 random area into yellow gems and pin the opponent. So that's 28 more yellow gems broken. Okay. If you add all of that up, you'll get to 133 yellow gems that we need to account for. So if we take a look at our base gem damage, we can see that it is 62,008. Here's our strat bonus for yellow gems. It's going to add 62,000 damage to the yellow gem. The Fury 2s are going to add close to 50,000 per. The percent metal bonus is going to be 21,000 per. The flat substat is not enough to even talk about. Our moment is going to give us 31,000 per. And then the activated buff will add a whole lot more. I have all of the gem defense already built into this calculations as well. So our total gem damage on yellow right now is looking at 200,839. And with the activated move buff, we are getting up to 664,777 per yellow gem that is broken. All right, so you take that, you multiply it by 133, and that's how you're going to get the big hit. However, we are also breaking 21 purple gems at 4,381. And we're adding trainer bonuses, which I didn't go over the entourage. Let's do that real fast. We need 6 red MP to get loaded. So we still need to have a +4 MP trainer, so Stinger is going to work there for us. We're going to get 2 more red MP from Jesse the Body Ventura and 100% trap gem damage. We're also going to get 150% trap gem damage from Zombie Penta. We're going to get 125 trap gem damage from Zombie Braun. This adds up to 375 in our specialty gem trainer. So they're going to add 151.4 thousand base gem damage to purple, along with everything else that has changed. So we can see that every purple gem is going to do 282,000. And we're breaking 21 of those. Cool, everybody with me? Now, there is an element of randomness to this as well. This is assuming that all of these multiplies are going to turn yellow. They're not. In a perfect world, they would. I have yet to get it to go off in a perfect manner. One of the multiplies always either turns purple or gets hit with a cascade or something. But in theory, this is how this should all work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load all of our yellow moves. Which were loaded. Then we're going to drop our traps. Trap's going to take up these 21 gems right here. And this is where our multipliers are also going to get generated. We're not going to catch any here in the purple, which is nice. But we may cascade this blue section right here. Let's go ahead and hit the frog splash. Going to break all the traps. So this is going to trigger all of the yellow activated move buff, the 231%. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We kept all 8 of the multiplies. That's amazing. It's the first time it's happened and it's on wax. Let's go. And then we're turning the entire board yellow from the Wings of Ruin plate. And then a really nice cascade at the end. That's 129 million damage. That is not taking into account the countdown gems triggering. Oh, I didn't even put the, I forgot to put this up. Here we go. So you can see the unblockable trap damage is 36.75 million. The finisher did not account for that number, but the HP bar did. The finisher move damage was 1.6 million. The purple gems did 9.1 million. And then the yellow gems actually did the 88.4 million because it caught every single one of the multiplies, which is fantastic. That finisher accounted for, or that entire move cycle accounted for 130, let's call it 136 million damage. Not bad. You can adjust it, of course. You don't have to go so trap heavy. You can go yellow gem damage heavy. You can use a yellow Royal Rumble instead of the Wings of Ruin plate. There's a bunch of different things you can do. But 136 million is pretty decent in a 3-click move set. If you're still with me after all that, obviously this is a preview video. However, I was not happy with my previous preview videos, so I wanted to try something different and something that felt a little bit more like SlimNumbers. Let me know what you thought about this particular setup. I think I want to just start identifying a couple of movesets and talking about how the game mechanics work with those movesets and show you total damage numbers and do the math that way. I think that feels a little bit more like me and a little bit more useful information because there's a lot of preview videos that come out about every character. Please, in the comments, leave me some feedback if you're still watching. And as always, if you've learned something today, if you've been entertained by anything today, or if you just happen to like the sound of my voice, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe, share to your faction mates, and I'll talk to you next time. Later.